In this video, we're going to talk about what you're typically not taught about in investing. So I wanted to do a video on what is an investment so we can actually look at like what is an investment, what's not an investment. First off, let's go to a simplicity here. The word investment means that you're actually going to take some money, you're going to put a certain amount of money into something and you want to make more money back. So you're going to put in $1, you want to make back $2. Obviously the amounts are just made up, but you get the idea. Let's take one example. If you want to get educated on something because you actually want that to be a career or you want that to be something you want to do to a skill set that you want to actually use to make more money, then fantastic. That could be an investment, a very good investment. If you want to learn something just for the sake of learning it, that you don't actually want to do it for business, like let's take a real example here. Let's say you wanted to learn to knit. Now, if you want to just learn to knit for the sake of knitting, that's totally okay. That's totally fine. But that wouldn't be classified as an investment necessarily. You see what I'm saying? So the investment is going to be the thing you want to put in $1, you want to put in some money, and you want to make some more money back. Buying a home could or could not be an investment. Like if you're going to buy a home that you want to live in, do you really want to then sell that when the market goes up? Do you really want to be selling it and moving? If you do, that could be an investment. But also realize that if you're selling it because the market went up overall in your area, let's say, that when you go to buy a new home, it will probably be more expensive as well than right now because the whole market is higher. So you're also going to be then having to buy a new home, which is going to be done with a higher market. So so it doesn't always add up. Like it's not automatically an investment. I do think that owning a home is much better than renting a home if you can. However, owning the home that you live in isn't necessarily an investment. It's not like it's making you money back. It's not, unless you rent out rooms in it and the rooms that you rent out make you more money. Buying a home that you're going to rent out to somebody else, like if you're going to buy a home and then rent the whole home out and you're making more money back on it, well then yeah, for sure. Because each time a monthly payment is made as well, the amount of equity, the amount of ownership you have in that home is also going up. So besides the fact that you may make a little bit extra on top of all the bills and everything else, you're also then every single month owning more and more of the home, which is real value. I mean, that could be really definitely be an investment. Another example is like stocks or cryptocurrency as a thing. So stocks are like, a company goes public, they basically say, hey, everybody's gonna have some ownership of this business. And in exchange for that, you're gonna give me money. So that's okay, but you're also betting in many cases on the fact that that company's gonna do better or worse. It may or may not. I mean, that is a bet, just like anything else. Cryptocurrency, on the other hand, can be done many ways, right? There are cryptocurrencies that are backed by nothing, right? And really that, I don't classify that as an investment. I classify that as a gamble. That's like saying, I'm gonna go to Las Vegas, I'm going to put $5,000 down on red on the roulette table, and you know what, this is my I'd like you to invest in my business. And it's kind of like, all right, man. I mean, you're basically betting on something there, the odds are stacked against you. If you want to do it and like basically manipulate it, you want to buy a bunch of it, do a bunch of PR, get it, the value of it to go up and then sell it, then you know what, you could classify that as an investment. That's just not the kind of investment I like to do. And so I also do just consider that a gamble. That's my personal viewpoint. That's my personal perspective. There are cryptocurrencies which are backed by other things or used to fund businesses and organizations. And again, if you fully understand how cryptocurrency works, I'm not talking about the technology side of it. There's also an economics, like the actual value of currencies and things like that. If you actually understand all of that and you feel comfortable, hey, go for it. There are guys who are using that technology to actually get funding for businesses or funding for charitable organizations and that kind of thing. And again, as long as you understand how it works, that could be an investment, but it's not necessarily an investment. Could be. Other types of things that people will sometimes say, yeah, it's an investment. A car. Okay, if a car is going to be used to make you more money, then yes. Like if you have to have a car in order to get to work, And if you can't work, but it is going to make you more money, great. But does that mean you actually need a Lambo? not necessarily. But, you know, like, so for some people, they go, oh, yeah, because having the Lambo makes me a lot more money. Hey, you know what? In that case, power to you. The main point is this thing that you're spending money on going to make you more money? At the end of the day, that's an investment. I just don't like to classify things that, like, I just want for the sake of wanting it as an investment, because unless it's going to contribute to more dollars coming back, right? And if you can directly relate that thing, because you could say, well, you know, having a $5,000 filet mignon steak equals more money back because I'm happier. And it's like, yeah, sure, that's fine, but there are other ways of being happier too without it having to be a $5,000 steak, right? Like, crab legs aren't the only way to do it. So I'm just saying, like, as long as you can directly relate the dollars spent to more dollars coming back, then fantastic. If you were going to spend $5,000 on steak and that meant that you had a bunch of people come who were going to pay you $10,000, well, you just made $5,000. Hey, good for you, right? So there's just a difference, and it really depends. Like, a car isn't always an investment, but that doesn't mean it's always not an investment. If you have a contracting business and you need a truck in order to get out and do jobs, well, then yeah, a truck really could be a good investment for you. So just take a look at all these different things. A house isn't always an investment. It could be something that makes you more money. It could be just a complete waste. Like, you're just putting money into it and it's not actually getting you dollars back. That doesn't mean it's an investment. If you want to buy a house and rent out a couple rooms, that could be an investment because it could be resulting in more money coming back to you, right? So each one of these things, isn't automatically an investment. A stock isn't automatically an investment. Building a business isn't automatically an investment unless you set it up. At the end of the day, you got to put in a certain amount of money and you got to make more money back. And if you're doing that, then it's an investment. If not, well, it's probably a hobby or just for fun or whatever, an excuse to buy something that you want to buy. In which case, just call it what it is. Connelly wants to get more shoes. Hey, in her case, she happens to be a performer. So she actually uses, like, she's a singer. So in her case, she uses the shoes when she goes and does a concert or a show or whatever. Hey, it's a good deal, right? So whatever, you get the idea. You're gonna put a certain amount of money in, you're gonna make more back, that's an investment. Everything else, you're just spending money now. You don't even need it as an excuse. Just say, I wanna spend the money on something that you want for the sake of wanting it. And that's okay too. It just doesn't make it an investment. But you know what? That's okay. Comment below on some ways that you've actually put money into something and made more money back. Love to hear it. All right, have a good one, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.